All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is J-Revolution and welcome to the first episode of the Insensitive podcast series, Tips. Thank you very much. Oh, in studio, I'm honored to have Xplicit Entertainment, men who need no introduction, but I'm going to introduce them anyway. First up, Mr. Mevon Sooden, the guy with the magic touch behind the boards, the Houdini, Soudini, Mr. Mevon Sooden. What's up, man?
Yo, yo, yo!
We go let our sound effect pan for a little bit, right? Next is another gentleman who needs no introduction, Mr. Marcus Braveboy, aka Mark Hardy. Don't know. And of course, to my left, none other than Mr. Isaac Rudder, son of the legendary David Rudder. Young Rud.
What up?
Alright, guys, how
What up?
how without abusing the sound effects table, how y'all doing tonight?
No, everything cool.
Just cool. Little cool.
It's actually cool. Now Kevin can take off the AC when we're ready, because we're gonna take off the AC. But before we get into the topic and what's going on with you guys, mood is out. It's been out, of course. I know that because in the studio I know system took a touch. Mevon, the production behind it. Oh God!
Everybody take a touch.
On this tune.
Bad thing, but
This song is a bad thing.
This song
Mevon,
was
talk to
built
them.
Kevin came at me eating a roti and that was
Specifically a roti.
Don't start with a roti.
I was starting with a roti to poti.
Trinidad delicacies play a part in
A
everything.
roti to poti and a sanana
A
bolo.
roti to poti.
And a sanana bolo.
Well, this being the first episode, I want to explain what it's about a little bit and what we're going to talk about tonight. Well, first of all, Tips is about speaking and having the discussions a little unfiltered, a little less, with the whole image in mind to actually get to the bottom of something. Actually, the slogan I had in mind for this show was "The ugly truth gets to, beautiful reality." And what we're talking about today is really the issue of supporting local, the industry. Yeah. Oh God. By the way, the mechanism of Tips is also when somebody gives you the service of good conversation, good dialogue, a good point, you give them a tip. And of course, the one rule of this show: cuss, carry on, do whatever the fuck you want. Just attack the argument, never the person. That's my one rule for the show. So viewers, we're going to get straight into it. And what we are talking about today is, of course, local content. And who better to talk about it than the guys who seem to have a touch, an understanding of bridging the gap between the international quality, and I put that in inverted commas because, where's quality? There shouldn't be a local quality and international quality. It should be quality. But they bridge the gap between what is a local sound, people can identify us culturally, with an international appeal. So the first thing I want to get into, guys, is there really a space for people to talk about the local industry critically without it being career suicide? Rod, I see you done ready.
I was actually gonna ask how we doing this. Anybody just speak, so you got.
No. It's anybody speaks. There's no early turns. But we try not to cut people off. Of course, let a man finish the point and stuff.
Well, I if you ask me in 2017, I definitely think it's better poised now. Like maybe a few years ago, it was a little more risky. It was scarier. I think there were less people at a time doing it, and I guess like the fact they had no example of it really, like, or very limited examples of it happening. Well, it made it a little more uncharted territory and a bit scary. But now I would say that, it's building, it's growing. There are more and more artists than what I can remember from when I first started to now releasing music at one point in time. All at the same time. And from my experience, there's more eyes watching it on Trinidad now. So there's definitely opportunity. I would say too, that's not meant to be controversial, but once you say anything like this in Trinidad, it's controversial. I would argue that some of the older heads who have made soca music the most popular genre, they come into the curtails of their career. Now there are young soca artists coming up, but the younger generation are looking for new things to latch on to. And with the prevalence of younger soca artists, in addition to there being a prevalence of young artists doing alternative music in Trinidad, and the prevalence of the internet, there's definitely, and of course, all kids now are plugged in quickly. Exactly. It's definitely a time now that the next generation are looking for something to latch on to.
The reason why I asked that question is because we are going to try our best to create. The reason why I asked that question first is because we are going to, in this episode, delve into this whole support local thing. So let me start with you guys, right? I explicitly remember, pun intended. I explicitly remember, right? Pun intended, that when y'all did the 2.0 launch, right?
Yeah.
Y'all had a campaign that was supposed to go called Fight Down,
Yeah.
right? But
Fight
a
Down,
few
right.
months, FD squared, correct. But a few months after that, pumping hit the radio stations and everything changed. Tell me what, I could say everything changed, but y'all would know internally. Mevon, what really changed from then to then?
Well, I think since the release of Pumping, it really opened a lot of doors. First of all, Pumping has basically made my career, and I think boosted Mark Hardy and Young Rod's
Trapso
collaborative careers to, Trapso, the subgenre. And since then it has been what's the word, boy? It's just pace since then, and a lot of the plans that we had in mind at the time, it never really took off because it was just a wave. Like,
Yeah, because
there was this demand.
Radio.
Yeah, like
and
we
all
had
the
it,
different-
and then
Xplicit TV
Adam
and all
went
that
on
kind of thing.
radio.
Adam went on
And
real radio. Yeah.
It was just this growth.
Yeah. By the way,
This
I
sudden
wanna
growth.
credit these guys for kind of I personally feel pioneering this in
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago because I don't think anybody did it really
Yeah.
before you. So yeah, no, real. I
Yeah,
really
man.
talk
Yeah.
for
Thanks,
sure,
man.
for
Thanks.
sure. Mark, you wasn't there, but you
Yeah.
get one. You get one.
Yeah.
No, real talk. I just
Because
wanna-
it's funny though, because remember we all in this generation, we all young men, and we live on the internet, at the end of the day we see where the avenues that we could take to explore and to expose our music and build our fan base.
So let me relay. That's not. I mean to cut you, but let me relay back in then, right? So there's this young artist who I was talking to the other day. I won't shout him out just yet, but he was talking about Fight Down. The reason why I asked all of this question is, does Fight Down really exist? If it does, what form
Of course
does
it
it take?
does. Of course it does.
And how do you all think you all made a way around that? Like how? That's what I'm really trying to get to the bottom of.
I'll answer first. I don't think.
I would answer this
Yeah.
last.
I don't
I
think.
feel like each one of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think yes, first of all, Fight Down does exist, and with regards to us making our way around it or getting beyond Fight Down, I think we still kind of get Fight Down in certain elements or certain spaces. But on the mainstream side of things, I think we don't necessarily get Fight Down per se, because I believe that we are kind of household names now with regards to local hip hop, that kind of thing. We are like the main people go to now,
Yeah, I would.
or think about when you think about local hip hop music in Trinidad and Tobago.
Soudini.
So yeah, Xplicit. I think Xplicit you go about be Xplicit and Mark Hardy, Young Rod. Of course, there's the Nebulas and the Jimmies and the whole others, but I guess pioneer was the word that he used.
Correct.
So,
No, I.
we kind of made it popular now, within recent times. And when I say yes, Fight Down exists, I've seen it for myself. Like Adam is a member. He's not here today, but Adam is a DJ, and I've seen how DJs treat other artists. I'm not saying Adam does this with other artists, but I'm saying because I've seen him being a radio DJ and seeing the other side of seeing an artist coming to DJs and how it may seem like Fight Down from DJs, like bigger DJs might be like, there's a small artist and they're not gonna play their music, but it's not necessarily that sometimes now. And then there's the other side where DJs just simply Fight Down guys because they don't know who they are. And there's no hype around them.
Right.
And we live in Trinidad where hype is everything. So if there's no hype around you, they'll be like, okay, ignore you now. And that's just the reality of it. And they fight it on. Like they'll be like, nah, they mightn't say it verbally, but mentally they're like, who the hell is you now?
Yeah.
And
So-
there's an underlying
So
fight.
so people. So you would say that definitely people do make good music, deserving of radio play.
Of course.
But just whatever.
Of course.
Okay, Hardy, what do you think?
I think Fight Down, I think it's definitely improved over the years.
I could agree on that too.
I
And
think,
get
I
a shilling
think,
for
well,
that.
Is that 25 cents?
I think out of everybody in the crew, I think I probably had the most experience in the music industry because,
Right.
like, I actually started off sending stuff to radio stations at like,
And if it do work out,
at
yeah,
like
you're allowed
16,
agreement.
you know. So like, so I can tell you from then when it had 2 radio stations, like really 2
Running
urban
it.
radio stations running it. And
That was
even-
that was 98.9 and
I would say, like,
6.1?
I remember I was in a group called the Breathless Crew. And me and my neighbors, right? I used to sing soca. And I remember we had a song called the Breathless Show. It was our first song that we did. And we actually took the song to 96.1. And I remember the program director at the time, Paul Richards, he actually liked elements of the song and had a meeting with us and gave me advice. He was like, you know, I like the song, but I think you need to work on your diction a bit. You need to do this, you need to do that. And I actually believe the song played like once or twice. And I remember like 98.9 used to play it as well.
yeah.
So the experience with that initial song wasn't necessarily like a radio stations not playing the song or fight down. But later on, I remember releasing a song called King Kong, which was like a power soca song. And I started to feel the emotions of again fight down because I felt my song was as good as other songs I was hearing on the radio. So I have a kind of weird story, as in I've experienced different
Both sides, yeah,
both
yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Then with Trap Soul now, I think we took a different approach now. Because I know you asked the question. I actually remember the movement of fight down.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a big part of Xplicit back then, but I was aware of it. And I think that we kind of decided, you know what? This is how the radio stations work in Trinidad. This is how the industry works.
And we
But
wanna
instead
change
of
that
complaining
status quo.
about it, let's work around it. Let's create our own buzz.
Right.
You know, so I think that fight down exists to an extent, but which industry does not fight down?
Okay, I guess.
Right?
Right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
just-
no, if it wasn't done, then go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say like, alright, like the music industry, we in it, we passionate about it, so we'll say yeah, it's fight down in the music industry. But I think almost every industry, the fashion industry, the
Yeah.
car industry,
I think
graphic-
everything.
yeah, and all it is in every industry, they'll have barriers to entry of some sort. But I think
Turn it.
what to me, yeah. I
Yeah,
think.
wait. Again, everybody else, right? There's a real show if some fucking.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Now I'm just gonna say,
a fucking tip. You get 2. You get 2 tips.
We are no job, boy.
just to close, I would say that every industry has fight down. If you want to use that terminology, I've been able to travel in and see different music industries and experience, and it exists everywhere.
Right.
I have brethren from Jamaica who tell me it's the same thing.
Yeah, I hate when people make fight down song synonymous with Trinidad.
Right,
and
that's what I'm
culture.
saying.
I hate that.
So for me, I'm this kind of person. If it is you put barriers in my way, I will find a way around it.
And that's
I
what
just-
fight down.
Yeah.
That was the essence of fight down. You know, it was like, if it is if you feel victimized, or you feel like if you being fight down or fought down, you know, you fight it down with positivity, no. Don't let the fight down get to you and
Right.
stop, now, boy. You know,
Yeah,
you battle the fight down with fight it down. You know,
Yeah.
it's like.
No, and for me, I just feel like we worked our way around it. And as Mevon was saying, we still do experience certain barriers to completing
Well, yeah, of course,
our
of
ladder of success and stuff. You know? But at the end of the day, still, like, same attitude. It's like, all right, so you all don't want to let us in this door or in this room.
You're gonna
We're
make
going to
another-
find another
another
way.
way. Yeah.
And I think that keeps it exciting too, you know?
Mr. Rudder?
So everybody know me already. Like I have a million. So everybody know me already. I have like a problem with specificity, right? So I need specific things. So like define fight down first, right? So the general idea I get from people
Fight
having
down.
fight down is that there's some, almost like the Illuminati, bro. Like there's some system going out their way,
The system.
right? Hey, to actually prevent art. I mean, we talk on specifically the artist fair, right? And I'm going to talk about anything else, right?
Right,
In the
artist.
artist fair to stop people from getting radio play
Right.
or big shows in Trinidad.
Right.
But that's usually linked to the radio play, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people assume lots of radio play, they get in shows, right? So, does that exist? I can tell you it definitely existed at one point in time, right? I won't go into detail on that.
I
but,
feel like I agree.
right? No, with all
I
of
feel
that,
like I agree
with
too.
all of that, there was
Yeah,
institutionalized.
Yeah, it's definitely institutionalized to stop certain
right?
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what has that? What that has caused?
You think it gone though?
I'm about to get to that. What that has caused, like everything else in the world, is a culture. And once the sheep moving in a this is not calling everybody sheep, but once the sheep or the herd
Sheep.
moving, But in a way,
Hypothetically speaking.
it continues. So it lingers on somehow today. So the idea of fight down to me is way bigger than just somebody trying to prevent you, right? Watch it this perspective, right? If it is, I go in a show to perform, right? And I watch out to the crowd, nobody responding. But afterwards, they tell me, hey, bro, I really like your song. And then I asked, well, why you didn't respond to it? I was afraid that everybody else would like, right? Wouldn't like what I do, would judge me. What would you call that? I would call that you are choosing a little 2-minute piece of fare over helping somebody actually be successful at something. As a sad mentality that's going to pull on your artist.
Yeah.
What is that? That's not going to give me the confidence. That's going to make other people in the crowd feel vindicated in the idea that maybe Trinidadian artists aren't good enough. You're contributing to that same problem. That's a fight down movement there to me. Now, as I said, I don't necessarily agree with the idea that there's an Illuminati person. I'm talking about trying to make your artists better. We're in a small country, right? So let's go to radio now, right? Radio is a conduit. Everybody can sit down and say radio, it's your fault. What incentive does the radio have to support me? Is there a minimum amount of music of a certain genre or amount of local music they have to play? Is there? What incentive? If I'm a DJ and I have to do what my program director says, and the program director is going to go for the business model where you have to pay one exact fee for all international music, and you don't have to and you have to pay each individual artist extra money directly for whatever song they play. On a business model, if I know my boss is telling me that as a program director, I'm going to tell you to play this, because not only am I already tapping into what's popular everywhere else in the world, but I'm also going to please my boss. Like, yeah, I don't have to pay more money to this artist.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
what is that fight down? That's fight down to me. That is you cannot tell me, right? If Trinidad dug up oil and then a government said, okay, there's oil in this hole, whatever, and left it, you are an idiot. You are not capitalizing on an obvious piece of making you money.
Yeah.
A resource,
With
yeah.
the clear
Tapping
amount
into
of
the
just in
music.
Trinidad,
Talent, yeah.
clear amount of artists in Trinidad. If you even talk to people in the American music industry, you see how many Trinities they have in that, which is a mind F to me, right? There's many Trinities in the American music industry. Let's not forget the first ever song to go platinum is a Soca song, bro. Yeah, that's not a Calypso song, sorry, not Soca, Calypso song. Harry Belafonte, right? Calypso was the biggest music in the world at one point in time. Why would we let that go? Why would we not build on that momentum? What would you call that? I would call that a fight down. But I call that institutional.
Yeah.
So I like to go on a
Systematic
deeper level.
institutional, yeah. Okay.
Does it exist? Yes. Another thing I'll say, right? When we first dropped Pumpin', every radio station except one played Pumpin', right? And I mean did not play it at all. We dropped Naboy. Every radio station, including
Naboy.
ones that we didn't think would play Naboy,
Playing
played Naboy.
Naboy was
except the one.
usual.
And then when Naboy blew up and we dropped the music video, then after the music video sprung up in 2 days, we got a call for the tune.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what?
What
You know
would
what
you call
I would
that?
say?
Yeah.
Actually,
You know what?
I don't think that's correct.
You know what?
That is
what they
very
say?
correct.
No, that's 100%
That is
correct.
100% correct.
For
And-
my-
From it's from Naboy made.
No. I mean, in particular, there's a radio station I played it after. It wasn't after the music video, but it was after we had the actual song on Facebook circulating, and somebody from the radio station saw it
Message,
on my
yeah.
profile and
Yeah.
messaged me. So
Yeah.
it
But I
was
wasn't after the video though.
nah, it wasn't because it was the YouTube. It was just the audio link.
Well, still.
That could be true.
But still,
That could be
still-
true.
but still-
That could be true.
Yeah.
That's why I would. That's why I say.
But hold on, before you go on,
Yeah.
would you agree with one thing that was not when it was just circulating? That's when it crossed real views.
And
in
no,
no
wait,
time, right?
wait, and
Yeah.
that goes back to my initial
Yeah.
point about hype.
Yeah.
Initially, they saw y'all as Macadamia
yeah,
brother.
it's just-
Yeah,
no,
it's just
here-
then, but
here-
like no, y'all actually have catalog and y'all actually making some
Influence-
sense.
you could-
Yeah,
it's not
you're
gonna make
influencing
influence.
some
Yeah.
market now.
Yeah.
now.
When I was going in specificity, I wanted to reach there to say this, right? Now, the average person, if that was another artist, they'd be like, this man is fighting me down, and they would focus it on the guy. But why would you say that when this person is just doing
What they're supposed to.
at a culture that's been established now? You can't necessarily get mad at one person or a group of people and say it's your
Agreed.
job to fix everything. That's a little unrealistic.
Yeah.
To
Agreed.
me, you have to change. You have to give them incentive to want to be
And
different.
change
If
the
I have
style.
no incentive other than you just being vexed at me, if I still making money, I still have a secure job. I go and continue making paper. I go and put on other artists because they do put on other artists. They just might be in a different realm to us, or they may have just be riding hype, but they can say they did that. Every piece of their quota is being met. Where's the incentive to change? So fight down exists to me, but on an institutional level. It is at a level where we have to go inside and destroy it.
What about nepotism though?
One more thing I want to
No,
say
well,
too.
this is what I want to get.
Because
and
it's
this is
that
the
kind
next
of blurred line
And-
between
and
fight down and nepotism.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing too, right?
Especially in the
I heard,
industry.
I can't remember if it was Mevon or Hardy said it exists everywhere. Of course, like
No, well, I said, well, one, it exists in
Other
in
industries,
more than
right?
one industry. It's
Yeah.
definitely in most industry, because I'm part of other industries, and we're all part of other industries, and we all have experienced some sort of fight down. But also,
Right.
in specifically relating to the music industry, it exists in all different regions. But Trinidad is so small that it's more in our face now. So like, what they'll do is, if it is that there's a fight down culture, they'll have an underground that will emerge. But we only have like 1.4, 1.5 million people, as opposed to if you were like in the underground in New York or something, there's more people than that, you know. So it's just more in our face, and the underground here will just be so little bit of people
That you
it
can't really
doesn't- it
rise
doesn't-
up to
you
change
can't live off of it.
Yeah.
But I have friends who live off of underground.
right. Well, I was going to expand on that point that it exists. The way it exists in Trinidad, it's clearly bigger than just music.
I
It's
agree.
clearly a Trinidadian way
Yeah.
of doing
Yeah.
things.
Is that
And-
nepotism? It really
Yeah.
is. Is
And the
that-
truth
is
is,
that-
this
is
is-
the next thing.
I'll tell you on the truth. I think this might be a long shot to say, and I can't say all of it now. Maybe if one day you'll bother me, I'll do a whole video on it by myself. But one thing I definitely think it comes from is us being spoiled, getting too much money from oil before we established simple structures in Trinidad first.
100%. We still don't tap into the creative industry seriously, because I
Yeah,
know
we
this
don't.
guy in particular. No, film is my avenue, and I have been hoping and praying for them to implement this thing where we don't pay for equipment coming through customs, like you don't pay
Yeah.
duties, and that simple thing can't be implemented yet, and they say it's every year any budget, and I be looking off it and be disappointed every time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so before I get into the next question, we're gonna take a small break for our sponsors, which is nobody. But we will cheers. We will cheers. We will cheers and we get
Wait, before I cheers, I need something in this.
Oh yeah, no,
Pause.
pause. He needs some minutes. He needs some minutes.
Well, we drink it. Mevon and I drink it Moby.
Yeah.
Eyes on the boy, like get a drink. Come on.
Hey,
Yeah.
alright. Woo, we are breaking us. See, get us on
Y'all
record.
getting
this?
Y'all
It's
getting
alright,
this?
young,
Y'all
not
getting
doing
this?
this,
Mevon does not drink.
But you know what,
but-
dog? There's a moment, bro. You understand? Not too much. Just you know.
Yeah, all right. Cheers,
Oh,
man.
no,
Thank first episode.
And-
I want to thank you all for being
cheers,
here.
I can't see it.
I'll have a little chaser for this. I
Tell
ain't
me to
drinking the shit tonight.
Take a small sip.
Mevon,
Take
cheers.
a small sip.
Moby,
Take a small. No, I have.
Oh,
Okay. Take
This
a
is-
small sip.
This is definitely a one time thing.
Take a
Yeah.
small sip, but we go put the chaser for you to finish, right? Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, man.
First show, right? First episode. All right, cool. All right, so we are still right. Of course, I had to cut because the cameras is cut off after half an hour. This is the real deal, right? This is the real talk. So we back here, and what I want to ask, what you really wanted to ask these guys on this first episode is the whole issue of supporting local. Now, we understand that Bungie had a controversial interview the other day where he blatantly said that Trinidad, it's innate to Trinidad that people do not support local. And I've seen it. I internalized it. I haven't really given my opinion much because it's really for you guys, right? But I'll just say what I have to say and then you all could go in. I said to myself, there's so many factors of that. Well, one, I think that Bungie and other soca artists have benefited off of local support in the first place. I think they've made it where they are because of local support. But additionally, Mevon mentioned nepotism off camera. And supporting local, in my mind, is also kind of supporting who known.
Yeah.
So my question is who really needs to be the I guess the catalyst here? Is it the responsibility of the artist to put out good things that are worth supporting? Or is it the job of the public to just automatically support local because it's local? Where's the balance there? That's my first question.
To me, the balance has to be like support local because it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So you think people need to put out good things and
yeah,
take
you
responsibility?
don't just support local because it's from Trinidad.
Okay.
Because it's not real shit from Trinidad.
Word. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
it's not real shit. And at the end of the day, like, I mean, shit is relevant. Why? Something I find a shit.
I mean,
might love.
relative, yeah, right.
Yeah,
So-
you know, it might be relative to
Yeah,
the individual. But at the end of the day, being in music and stuff, like, you must know, dog, like, this song is shit. Or this song is not of the quality that it needs to be. You know, but
Yeah.
there the few things or songs or products that come out of Trinidad where you'll be like, this is amazing. We need to support this. And everybody they get that vibe, they get that feeling sometimes and be like, wow, I can't believe this is from Trinidad, the quality is so good, the product is so good, and you have no choice but to support it. And then we don't. So it's kind of amazing sometimes that we don't support certain things when it is you see the quality and you see the hard work and that kind of stuff.
But the question, right? But as the thing, is it really the responsibility of the consumer to appreciate that process? Is it not just
we have a
entertainment for them?
skewed opinion on that because remember we not the typical consumer.
That's exactly. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm asking you.
our
That's what I'm
opinions
asking
on that
you
will be
guys.
different.
Do
We
you
kind of
think-
invest in.
No, but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Is it the? I'm not saying that people should. I'm just asking. Do you genuinely think that is the consumer's
No.
role to appreciate
No.
the process? So then my question
No.
is now,
Yeah.
is that there is a certain sound that is played on the radio, right, over and over. Now the consumer is hearing this,
Yeah.
and they're not hearing enough of the good local stuff.
Right.
Is it really the consumer's fault now?
No.
Because remember the quote was Trinidadians don't support local.
Well, yeah.
But do Trinidadians know what locals have to offer?
No.
So then who's really at fault?
The consumer is not to be blamed.
But we do blame but we are blaming when we say Trinidadians do support local, we are blaming the consumer.
Well, I'm gonna make a point on quality too now because I know Mevon said that like it should be a balance of support it if it's good now, but good is
It's relative.
It's relative, and why I say that is, I mean like the songs that I like the Trinidad Go song, them those one, right? I battle with it. Like when I hear it, I was like, what shit is this, right? But looking at it and looking at the emotion, it makes people feel we are back on all this culture.
Right.
And we like we like that kind of thing.
The
We
drama,
like bacchanal. So that's a bacchanal song. So you'll always have songs that come up where the quality of the song may not be the best, but there's something about the song that is local that doesn't deal with quality, that deals with our culture now. So like that song, I actually understand why people like that song because we like bacchanal. But we invested in it as in we focus so hard on mixing our music
Quality.
properly. So we would feel like, yo, like what the hell? Like how they could play this
But
and
then,
not play
but
this.
then,
yeah.
you also told me
Yeah.
that you respect this person grind because
Yeah.
the person fought really hard to get the song known, push it
Yeah.
on social media, etc. Which brings me back to.
But
this-
there are some people who didn't fight,
and
and just because it's bacchanal and hype, because that's how much.
but you have to generate hype. But this is what I'm asking.
No,
is it
that-
really?
so that's what made the point on quality. Like
It doesn't have to be quality anymore.
No, but I never. That's the thing.
local.
Forget quality.
I just say
yeah.
local. Like songs like that make me realize that there's an element of like there are people who are like mood. People or like to say like, yo, mood sounds international, and y'all are from Trinidad. I'm so proud of y'all that y'all are from Trinidad and making this high quality music.
yeah.
But at the same time, a song like them does how I know other songs that I'll consider parody songs, right? There's something about those songs, even though the quality may not be on an international level, the emotion it gives people, or the happiness, or the kicks, or the joy.
Right.
They could relate it,
That's what I'm saying,
relatability.
relatability
Yeah.
in a humorous way, maybe. I
Right,
think
but-
that
Hold
that
on.
yeah.
No, you go.
I want to chime in on this, right? So first thing I want to say is, it depends. I'm a real strong believer in personal responsibility, right? But also personal freedoms now. So, is it the role of the consumer to change it? It depends. If you're a consumer consistently telling me, yeah, I don't like how it's be fight down, and then when I watch you, you not dance to my song, you don't pay for my music. Yeah, it is your responsibility because you're aware then, right? That's part one. And part two, okay, when it comes to personal freedoms, do I believe that we should force what we want to hear on a listener? Not necessarily, but do I think we should give them incentives? Yes. And here's I wanted to say this one before, and when you brought up this point there, is the perfect thing. Why would a song like that blow up in Trinidad first? It's not necessarily because Trinidadians like shit or because they like have a good time. It's because we put zero financial value in music. So when it comes to free consumption, you think if Trinidadians have to listen to that song by paying, they're paying for it?
On Apple Music.
No, well, I mean,
Right?
I might be wrong, right? But
Yeah, join Tidal
I
to
do
listen to
believe
that.
that is available for
Sure.
for purchase.
I
I
don't
do believe. I
I
may be wrong.
didn't say if it wasn't
Yeah.
available or not, you know.
But as
I'm
if we
saying,
could have listened to it for free.
do Trinidadians go and buy it? And
No.
the thing is, if they had to listen to it by that means,
Yeah.
Alone.
would they pay
It
for
won't-
it?
yeah.
I
probably
actually
won't.
not too sure because there was such demand for it that
Nah.
I think that
I don't think Trinidad was paying for that.
as I say, I don't know, but
That's my opinion.
But the thing is,
I
but
think
the
it's
thing
a
is- but the
possibility.
thing is,
I
because
wasn't even
people
talking
like
about
it so
quality,
much
you know.
now.
I want to go to the crux of making that point is this.
Yeah.
Now, is that in itself says we need something where incentive is given to a listener to kind of gravitate towards something else, towards what you want them to do, right? Or towards our local music. If it is that I have no incentive and my culture as a people is to catch kicks, then the first song that comes out is to catch kicks. It's for free. I'm going to gravitate towards that. Our song Mood is a great song, right? But what do Trinidadians like to do? Trinidadians like to whine, get on, and hear certain types of lyrics, right? Now, you might like to hear the song Mood in your earphones or something, but when it comes to the songs that Mood play along, is it the same kind of message? When it comes to a party and what they like to do, maybe yes, you could dance to Mood, but is it like what everybody else is usually dancing to in a party? And that's because we get all our music for free. You pay a little tutu standard fee and you can pay all the international music you want. Soca music, you're playing soca music all the time because there's soca already and it already has the culture established. But even then, do a lot of Trinidadians even pay for soca? Nope. And it's partially because you don't have that culture and still. So definitely I think it's a little bit on the consumer too, I guess. You have to want to support your own. But
So check this
there's
out, right?
no driver. There's no
I
driver.
just want to say this, Jim,
Yeah,
like,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
There is, I do believe, and maybe this is because we are so involved in the process and we support other people and stuff. I think there's a fiduciary duty as a Trinidad and Tobago citizen to want to see local progress from an economic standpoint, as in
Right.
it's better if we export our music
As
and
a real
import
educated
music.
citizen in your land.
No, but I just saying that. I just saying
Yeah.
they should be. Right?
But then-
you should want to see a local artist, designers,
I agree,
filmmakers win. You should want to. You should.
You should, but here's
Yeah.
here's what you think, right? You like
Not if you culturally automatically have
Exactly.
a predisposition
Right,
to beat that shit
exactly.
up.
That's
Let me
exactly
say
what
it.
it
If
is.
you-
Let me. I was
if
not
I-
about to say we
if
have
in
to have
school-
that instilled
right,
culture.
right. I pop
No way you
up
could
today.
expect people to
Check
turn out
this
for
out.
themselves.
If people automatically in schools, when you're in school, you'd have music and art class looked at as a piece of shit that you could duck and even get in trouble for it. Why would I even think you have any value? To me, in my mind, okay, Drake has value because I'm already seeing him as a multi-millionaire and huge hits all over the world. Why do you have value? They understand that value comes at a little more of a price now. So I agree the mentality should be there.
No,
but
that's what I
It's
said.
not.
That's what I said, Sean. You see, like we are, I'm assuming, right? But I think we've all grown up in a way where we've learned from, whether it is from parents or from peers or from school, whatever, to appreciate culture. You know? And I think that our group.
That word culture,
I'm talking
that
about
word
us.
culture real loosely.
I'm talking about
Because
us.
culture means calypso and
Right.
carnival.
I'm talking about us. I'm not talking about us. As in,
us go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I tell me when they say
us,
us,
yeah,
I mean,
sound general.
I tell me
No,
that's
sound
some
general.
general.
No,
I'm
sound
born in that,
I'm
that's
talking
what
about
it
us.
is.
As in this group, I say I'm guessing.
I'm gonna
I can
take
only
back
speak
that
for
shit and
myself.
want it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
Well, no, my point is like with us now. I know, like I grew up in a way that I was like my father was in the media, and I learned to appreciate culture from a very young age. So naturally,
I had a
my intention is to
side
support
note.
local. And
Yeah,
think
like,
that way,
I had
but
a
we can't
real
expect everybody
huge
grow up
crush
the same
on
way.
Carla
or-
Fordringham though when I was at Youth. Shout
Right?
out to Carla Fordringham.
Yeah.
Because that's a no. That's weekend. Like you had to watch the TV
Right.
channel 4. But anyway,
TV6, bro.
but hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying, right? Like
And then CNT3.
yeah, TNG was yeah, TDT though.
No, I seen after.
No, that wasn't no CNMG's the new TTT and yeah, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
point is right. So I'm saying that okay, when Young M.A. was coming down and it had the issue of she didn't want something when she didn't want local acts, right? They attempted to do a concert to overthrow. Yeah, well, hey, we going with what we going
They're
with
trying to
on
fight on,
record.
fight on.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was kind of the fight on.
So that was
You
the final
mustn't
one, right?
lie,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay.
Just say.
Okay. If
I
it,
don't
there's a
wanna
little OJ
Trinidad
moment
this.
here. So I just have to say, it's a little OJ moment. You see, I didn't even get it. I would have called him his via details. I'm gonna be real frank. Listen, these guys, I don't want these guys to commit career suicide, but this is what I'm about.
Yeah.
I understand that either is the promoter or the artist on their rider said they don't want no local acts. We don't care about that. I care about the fact that they tried to throw
No.
an anti-concert.
Specify hip hop acts. 'Cause
Local hip hop
If I'm not
acts.
mistaken, there was one soca act on the night, right? I could be wrong.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I believe there was a Soca act on the night.
Would.
Yeah.
Nice. Yet still, everybody still when they put out the video, everybody's singing the song. I see a few people come out. Hey, well, guess it's no support local.
Yeah.
When I saw that, so this is where I want you all to chime in. When I saw that, I said, how could you blame them if Young M.A. is being drowned in their ears?
Yeah.
So I logically said, well, maybe if we drown local music in people's ears,
Yeah.
perhaps it would have the same reaction.
But
what,
why?
What do you all think?
But why would they want to drown local music in people's ears?
No, I'm just asking.
that's
no,
unfair.
I'm just asking
No,
hypothetically.
it-
if they do drown local music,
Obviously,
in people's ears,
you
No, I agree.
want
It makes logical sense, but
I just saying logic.
In reality, it's not going to happen.
I just think.
No, whether it happen or not, I just asking if you think it would.
I think it would.
I just feel as a people. This is me talking as a people, not us.
Yeah.
As a people, I feel like we're not naturally proud to be from Trinidad and Tobago in terms of like the way we speak. Like whenever Trinidad.
Only when they go away.
when when
Nah,
Trinidad.
when you go away,
No,
bro,
Israel
you
and
just
shit.
get hyped.
Yeah, that's what I'm
When
saying.
you go away, bro.
No, it's one of those things now. No, and I can say this from my recent experience. Right? I was in a writing session in LA, and they wanted, the people I was working with were white Americans, whatever, and they wanted to write a soca song. And we were talking about lyrics now, and they were asking us like, how you say ass or booty or whatever. And I was saying, well, bumper or booty or boomsy, right?
Boomsy.
So then they were saying, they were saying, no, they were saying
Boomsy.
let's use boomsy. And I was saying, you know, like boomsy is like a jokey word, like it sure Americans will understand.
Bamsy.
They found it so
Sounds so
exotic. And they
nasty,
found, and the point is just to
Bamsy.
skip it.
Bamsy.
It's just like
Bamsy sounds so
even me as
nasty.
somebody who is very advocate
Jim
of
Carrey,
local.
Bamsy, I go dumb and dumber. Never forget that.
Naturally, I felt that this is something that it's
This shouldn't
jokey.
be.
So and they
It's like
found
it's
it.
in
So
the
I just
N-word.
say, and I'm somebody who's very
Nah, but big man,
open-minded.
big
The overall
man thing,
mentality,
big man
average
thing, white people
Trinidadian
kind of
is-
like that, dog. Like white people is real get hype off for shit, dog.
Yeah.
Let it be real, dog. I'll say it both. White people is get hype
Outrageous.
off for shit. No, it's,
Yeah.
it is, that is a racist comment because it's directed towards a race. But white
Yeah.
people is get hype off for real shit. Like
Yeah.
they would say that
That's
Bumsy
real.
and say, oh my god,
Oh my God,
Bumsy.
Bumsy.
No, but I just saying, as I said, the people I was in the session with, the people I was in the session with are professionals and hitmakers, whatever, right? But I just making the point that as Trinidadian and Tobagonians, we not
Africa, Tobago.
really like Jamaicans, yeah, like
Real love the
I started
cultures.
to link with a lot of Jamaican people recently. Jamaicans are so patriotic
Yeah,
about
for
being
sure.
Jamaican, talking Jamaican,
Yeah.
even Bajans.
But here what I'm
Bajans
saying-
don't turn on the Bajanness.
Yeah, but here what I
You
say,
know,
yeah.
they
Here what I say,
Bajan, you know.
Here what I feel,
I
right?
wanted to answer your question.
Now, well, sorry,
Americans
you were
proud
there.
to be from Africans.
Yeah,
The
well-
whole movement of the Afrobeat and stuff. You watch
Yeah.
the visuals, the music videos. They're so Latin American people, but we, for some reason,
But I blame what I blame the
Conveniently
thing.
proud to
Says
be
the
from
Trinidad and
Trinidad.
Tobago hip hop
I
artist.
blame.
No, I say we are.
Yo, but I
like,
blame
it's a real
I
thing.
blame representation, Mark,
Yeah.
because you have to remember that a Jamaican can't not. That's a double negative. A Jamaican would never not be patriotic.
Never not.
And a
Yeah.
triple negative.
Yeah,
whatever.
boy. Here, get it.
A Jamaican will obviously be patriotic
never
because
not be.
because the first instance and the first experience everybody had with the Caribbean, all Americans think the Caribbean is Jamaicans, dog.
It's because, in particular, Jamaica is considered cool, like Jamaican accent,
Exactly.
Jamaican culture.
Because
but for some reason, we feel like people might say, oh, let's talk fast or let's talk.
No,
and
no,
we-
no,
and-
no,
Trinidad
no, no.
is
Yeah.
not cool.
No, it
In
was-
Trinidad.
I don't think
That's what-
exactly.
Yo, when I go, when I,
Bali and all these kind
Yeah.
of things, like everybody.
Nobody
out
wants
of the-
to be like
Nobody-
Kitchener.
Everybody out of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
For the Caribbean was Jamaica.
Yeah.
So Jamaicans must.
I
be
know, but there's
patriotic.
something like with
Tourists don't
with
come
the
down here to go rain around.
with the whole Trini hip hop thing, people have not just about us, but about other people who spit in Trini accents and stuff. There's been like the song corny or the song this, and I mean, some people may song a bit corny and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
sometimes.
I just say this is our culture. And like we've gotten criticism for making songs about slangs. Like I remember somebody telling me, "Nah, boy, what's shipping is to teaching you." This is how.
Oh, shit, but this is in the youth.
Yeah,
That's
I
weird.
actually got that comment right.
That's a weird.
But to me,
Youth.
in Jamaica now, like you'd see politicians speaking
Yeah,
patois,
yeah.
you know, like
White and Asian
white,
Jamaicans.
Asian, every, you know.
Yeah.
So it's weird, like for some reason, and as Mevon was saying, like you go away and you talk Trinidadian to a girl, like she would be like, yo, like
Yeah.
I love,
Creaming.
I love your
Should be
patois,
beaming,
I love
should
your
be
patois,
beaming,
you know.
should be
So-
beaming.
Patois.
Can I say something, by the way?
Sure, Mister.
As I made this real clear, I just get real annoyed when people use the word corny to mean whack. Everybody else gets something clear. The word corny is when something is so unoriginal that you're doing it again and it's not new. So anybody else who ever calls me corny again for using my Trinidad accent and Trinidad metaphors, it is the opposite of what I am doing. Okay? Learn the fucking word.
Hey, you could cuss us.
Fucking word. That's what it means.
Sexual.
No, I would just say this too. I was just like,
Where that one coming from? Chung Lee?
Chung, have a special
Chung Lee need
Nah,
mix
well,
it up.
in terms of us appreciating our culture and stuff, I think it's crossing all genres. Even soca, I think that the image of a soca artist is still
Is a hip-hop
undefined.
artist.
Exactly. I just feel representation.
No, and it goes back like the top soca artists would have been influenced by foreign, you know, like the image of a calypsonian didn't necessarily pass on, or the influence of a calypsonian
I feel like
didn't necessarily pass on.
Calypsonians used to look like jazz artists. You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, not
But-
true. So maybe
hold
that's
on.
but this
Wrap
still,
up there, Joe.